Recording in progress.
I'd like to call the special meeting of the TPMPD Monday, December 29th, 2025 to order. And mission and vision.
Carrie, would you like to say it? Sure. TPMPD mission statement: to provide a welcoming public aquatics facility managed in a fiscally responsible manner with a focus on educating all ages in the lifelong skills of water safety. We carry out this mission with a board and staff who are compassionate, inclusive, and responsive to the needs of our diverse community, working to foster positive and lifelong experiences with aquatic environments. TPMPD vision statement: contributing to the quality of life for our community and for future generations through welcoming, fun, safe, and positive aquatic experiences at the Tuckbillow Pool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey!
There.
I come with Tim.
Let me grab.
Hello.
Can we grab a? Oops. Yes, sorry.
Is that okay?
Yeah, no, it's a public meeting.
Public
Just
meeting?
grab a couple of chairs. While we're here, let's do the pledge of allegiance.
I thought I walked in exactly 5. I was thinking about that.
Pledge allegiance to the
Flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right, roll call to my left.
Commissioner Shipman present.
Commissioner Gangler present.
In spirit, okay.
Stahl.
Oh, Commissioner Stahl present.
Commissioner Frangelo Anderson present.
Commissioner Zappo present. We're also joined by our Executive Director, Brad Parkman, our District Clerk, Emily Snur, and our Commissioner-elect, Debbie Russell. To be Commissioner-elect. And, sorry, Tim. Okay, all right. I'm looking for a motion to approve the agenda.
Commissioner Stahl would like to make a motion to approve the agenda.
Commissioner Gangler second.
So Commissioner Stahl made a motion to approve the agenda. Commissioner Gangler seconded. Is there any discussion on the agenda? No discussion. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed? Agenda is approved. Moving straight on to the business item, which is the only thing on the agenda for this evening, which is review and approve review the Seattle Parks Foundation campaign invoice.
I'm sorry, he's fixing it.
That looks dangerous.
Never.
I know those get like sideways.
Yeah, it's like it's.
We can continue.
Yeah, so Brad, I was going to say, did you want to talk about the invoice or?
I think we've talked quite a bit about it in prior meetings. This is the invoice for work completed by Seattle Parks Foundation. This invoice was requested from Seattle Parks because they had made us aware that they would like to get their contractors paid before the end of the year. We had then asked them to share with us an invoice for all work completed to date, and the 44 750 you see in front of you, when and if we approve, and I say when and if we approve the contract, this would be deducted from the initial $75,000 deposit that has been in discussion and in draft form of a contract with Seattle Parks Foundation to be discussed in January's meeting. But tonight we are just seeking approval to pay Seattle Parks Foundation. And that is all we are seeking tonight. The contract is a matter for January and an initial discussion. Am I right there, Jerry? Vanessa, is that correct statement?
Yeah.
So, in theory, that's what this is. We are currently still engaged with Seattle Parks Foundation in draft form contract. We're also engaged with Seattle Parks Foundation with wrapping up interviews and getting to our what do I want to call it? Our essentially their findings, their final report, and what a capital campaign could look like moving forward. We just wrapped up a handful of interviews, community, stakeholders, and so a lot of that has to do with what we have in front of you in terms of an invoice. I don't know what else to share, so I apologize. I think it's pretty straightforward.
So I just have a question. So it sounds like, so this 44,750, if in January, if it's coming up as the contract is coming up, so this is ideally, I'm guessing in a perfect world, the contract would have probably preceded an invoice, but they want to wrap things up because they want their contractors paid. I understand that by the end of the year. We're moving forward with the kind of the soft assumption that we probably are going to go forward with the contract, and that the $75,000 that would have just originally just been the first bill, we're only going to pay the difference between this minus $75,000 for the first payment, and I don't know about the other payment. And is there any red flags that make us think that we're not going to want to continue to be in partnership with the other firms?
I don't think there's any red flags. I think we're still trying to make sure that the contract supports what we're all envisioning for a complete capital campaign, right? And that's everything from their ability to do what they're doing now, conducting these interviews, make a sound plan for the TPMPD, and I think launching a case study support for and running a capital campaign. I think are all the three big pieces coming up.
And the fact that this invoice doesn't say anything regarding the deduction from the $75,000, is that something we should be concerned about, or do we have some emails saying that?
That would be via emails, but also would be stated in the contract.
But
So the contract
this,
would be the 75 less the 44,750.
well, so that's actually something that I wanted to address, is that before we pay this, we need to have a paper, if we were to pay a paper trail, because they agreed to that, that they acknowledge,
Okay, so it
that-
sounds like they agreed to it.
they
we
agreed
just
to it,
haven't
but
had anything.
they were supposed to put it in writing with the invoice, so it needs to go with the invoice, that we have a paper trail, that this will be applied to.
And then that language would also be added to the contract that Brad's talking about,
Yeah, in the
okay?
draft form, correct.
Okay, because I mean, you know, if
And then-
they're saying they're gonna honor it, I mean,
No,
I don't
no,
think we
no, I
should
don't-
call them a bunch of liars.
So,
Get us off on this right foot.
are they okay with the 75,000 in the first quarter? Because it sounded like they originally wanted 100. Okay.
150 total, no,
Oh,
that was,
150 total.
so between, and they were fine splitting it up.
Okay.
That was,
Secondary, sorry.
yeah, go ahead, no, go ahead and.
Did we land on a percent with them? Okay.
Yeah, we had at our meeting that we had, like a couple weeks ago now, maybe. We had a discussion about that, and I brought that up directly. And so the 10% that Jerry and I had heard back in July was one person saying they would suggest bringing it up to the president of the foundation, but as they pointed out, for this campaign, a lot of the dollars and funds will not be going through them. It will be through state and county and federal appropriations directly to the TPMPD, so none of that is subject to the percentage. So the actual amount that goes through SPF's bank account is going to be a lesser amount, so the 12%, which is what is on their website for capital campaigns, stands. So that was is that how I explained that well? Okay.
So that's 12% only on like money that are coming in
Into their account.
into their account.
And they give us
That is
balance
for,
minus 12%. Which we couldn't have gotten otherwise because we don't have a 501c3. So the only
Money we
reason,
won't have access to.
right,
That's fair.
yeah, no, I mean, for the amount of lift, I think it's like a bargain.
I was
You know,
just curious.
Plus they, you know, they're well known. I mean, it's not like, you know, we're hiring somebody from the corner doing this, so.
I'm gonna just say this on record. The amount of lift is to be determined. we don't know. And I think one of the arguments that I brought to the table was I wanted a short list, a 2-year look back of their campaigns. Size of the campaign, success, how long did it take them to complete it, and what were the funding mechanisms? Were they state appropriated, were they grants, were they private, what were they? And so we've asked them to bring that to the January meeting for all of you
Oh, okay.
to hear when we discuss the draft contract. And so, and it's no secret, I'm kind of on the fence on both of this because I'm struggling with the percentage from a fundraising perspective and from what I've seen in fundraising. But if that is the case and the board chooses to approve, then that's what we'll run. So, yeah.
Well, I think that's fair, and that's good that they're giving the information, so.
Absolutely.
I mean, at the, like, worst case scenario is that we get the information, we're like, oh my God, we should have hired somebody from the corner. And we're at 44,750, but we still have the intellectual property.
Correct.
So we own the work that's been done on this invoice.
And some
More than
pretty
we have
good
now.
community engagement,
Yeah.
which is, I think, the biggest rewarding piece out of this so far is just I think the interviews and the know. I think everything else is still.
Well, and I mean, I just have to say, we are such a small organization. We're not, Brad's background is the why. We're not the why. We don't have, mega donors on our board. Or maybe we do. But we just don't have access to that. Most of us work. We just, I think the support is, they're already a professional organization. They're associated with Seattle, parks. At this point, I'm not seeing any huge red flags, but I do appreciate the concern and look forward to the information.
January?
I'll be there.
You too. Ready to go.
They are gonna present at the January meeting.
Thank you.
First, yeah.
Yes.
They will be there to present before we go into the contract, so, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So I don't know if it's okay for me to ask. There was like 3 things I was confused about reading through everything. Number one, if we're paying something that's not really due yet, is this for work that we've already received? Okay, and
Great
then,
question. Yes.
and then the other thing is, once we pay this bill, do we lose all leverage? It's like a car salesman, once you say, well, I'll give you my credit card and then let's figure out what I'm gonna pay. You don't. So that was my other thing, thinking, is our leverage better if we're like, we kind of want to buckle this down and this isn't quite due yet?
Yeah, so the goal with this group is typically, we kind of did this backwards. And that's to our detriment, and we've had this discussion. The contract should have been first and foremost.
Right.
That came later after we started work. So this is for all work completed year to date. And no, we don't lose our leverage. Their goal, let's just say their goal is to capture 12%. So typically what they like to see is an initial deposit from the organization to cover the startup costs per se. And then the additional monies just come from monies coming in, their percentage on donations coming in. And so the goal was, for a campaign this size, was about $150,000. We had agreed to a tiered deposit system, $75,000 up front, which would take them through X and then another initial deposit. So they're still on the hook, they're still engaged. So this is just to make sure we can get them paid and continue that.
So that makes sense, because we're paying for what they've already done.
Absolutely.
And the other
Fair.
bad thing that we did is that, we didn't do it, it just landed that, it's the end of the fiscal year for them, and they want to pay off their contractors who've done this work, which actually I think does say something, a little bit. And I don't know how they addressed it or whatever, and I don't know that there's any really good way to address the fact that you are asking for money and you haven't done a contract yet. I'm kind of surprised that there wasn't more of a, we'd love to work with you, we think you're great, I think we can raise a bunch of money together, we're excited, let's sign the contract and we can get going. That didn't happen. Now whether that didn't happen because we kind of gave pushback or they did or both of us did, who knows. But we are here right now. But it is very interesting that they still felt that they could come to our group and say, hey, we've got these contractors, we kind of want to roll it up, can you pay us? And I'm just saying that, I don't know that that's how they said it, but that's how I'm hearing that, you know, they kind of came to us and it wasn't, you know.
So their fiscal year, I thought, ended in June.
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
So just, yeah, so that's great, Ellen. Some context is important that, the reason and I just want to be transparent, the reason the contract took longer is because they were redoing their big capital contracts. So we had hoped to have one, and then they just said, well, we're not ready to do it. And so as soon as they were ready, we accepted it, and that was November. It was later, you know, not how we would have liked to have done it, obviously, but they were the ones that said, hey, we're not ready to have the contract. And so the second piece on that was we actually offered to pay.
Oh, we did?
Yes.
Okay. All right, well, that's fair.
Yeah, no, it wasn't this high of a dollar.
We didn't realize it was this high.
And to be fair, I don't feel that we've been very fiscally responsible that started without this contract. It's literally almost 6 weeks after the fact that when we first met with him. And when Vanessa and I had our first call, Brad was unable to be there, there was nothing ever mentioned about a deposit up front. There was the percentages that could range anywhere from 10 to 12%. We knew that part.
Right.
But nowhere, when this contract showed up, I was literally shocked at the amount of money that they were asking
in any of the paper. Was it just part of the contract? Was it boilerplate part of the contract? So I'm hearing Jerry say that she did not know that we had to pay any upfront money until you saw, I'm guessing, a draft of the contract.
The when they had a call with us in November for the contract.
Okay, and I'm guessing that their contract is, so typically when an organization does a contract, it's a boilerplate. They call it a boilerplate because it's just a used template. They use it all the time. And that the verbiage in that then contains, hey, by the way, we've got some upfront costs that we can't, you know, we need you to help us pay because we got to pay this out right away before we can actually hit the ground. And
I don't know that I would call it, I mean, you're correct, it was boilerplate. It was, I don't know if I call it upfront, but there would be required that we pay $150,000.
that was
we worked it with them to split it into 6 months type of thing. And then we were still working on the whole contract verbiage, and we're still working on it. It's already gone to Brian. Now it needs to go back to them with our corrections.
Okay.
And what we're asking for. So there's nothing that's been...
Nothing's finalized.
No. And that's what's coming in January to the board. And Brad, by the way, it's always helpful when I press return on my comment. Nothing, what I just sent you, I sent extra language to redo the deposit piece, and I sent you an email about it, but I forgot to press return on the comment, so I had to retype it right before I came here tonight. So yeah, it was just because it was just
delayed.
It's in my inbox.
Yeah, well, it's not in your inbox, it's on the Google Doc now.
Yeah.
I screwed up and didn't do that,
So obviously it sounds like this isn't the way we really want to do things, that we would prefer to have things done fiscally responsible, have contracts signed, everybody know what's going on, everybody know about any fees and all that.
I think, yes.
That's how
I
we'd like
think it's a reminder to all commissioners, myself, anyone sitting at the table, that we have adopted such good practices for everything else we do. And multiple bids, vetting out the source, whether that's getting the information early on success, not success, blah, 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 whatever it comes down to.
Right.
And we just didn't do it for some reason.
Well, that's a really good, good
It's a
learning.
good reminder that we all need to slow down when we are ready to proceed with something, especially with the projects coming up. So I think everybody's voice matters at that table to really question and or help us put on the brakes if we need to slow things down before we have agreements in place and contracts signed. Does that make sense?
No, it makes total sense. I mean, I think this is a great thing to have, it's a great learning opportunity, especially as we go into, what is it, manager rep or whatever.
Project manager, yeah.
But we're committed to the 75,000 no matter what.
We're not committed.
At this moment, we are only committed to $44,750 until a contract is approved. And no contract is approved past this.
So the contract's being presented in January.
And they're going to present what Brad
So
asked about.
Seattle Coast Foundation is coming to that meeting.
And so is there, I'm just curious on the agenda, is there going to be a I mean, I know they're doing their presentation. Are we gonna vote at that meeting? Okay.
That's the intention.
That is the intention, yes.
Okay. Well, you know, I mean, again, I think it's amazing that that we got as far as we did, and yeah, lessons learned. But even for 44,750, if we do walk out and we decide, you know what, we don't like you, we're out $44,750, but we also have all that intellectual property that they've created for us, which includes the interviews, which includes whatever they've done for us. So, I mean, it's not like nothing.
Have Brad or Vanessa, have you guys seen like seen any sort of like preliminary paperwork on that sort of stuff, or through emails?
On what sort of stuff?
Like
The outcome of those? No, not yet. That's what we're waiting for in the final report on phase one is what I call it. And it's the community engagement, the assessments, and then they come to the table to say, this is what we think.
What do they call it, Brad? Is case study? No.
The case study
Is that
is
right?
this,
Or is that-
building the case for the county. That's
okay.
a whole
That's
second.
late, yeah, that's right.
So they should come to us and say, this is how the interviews went, this is what we found, this is what we heard, this is what we think. We recommended a $10 to $15 million campaign. They could come back and say, based on our findings, we don't think they're gonna be successful. So we're only gonna run a $5 million campaign.
Which is still,
No,
yeah,
absolutely.
or
I'm not
even 2
saying
million. 2 million
negative,
is
but
still,
that is their goal right now, is to wrap this up.
Right.
Phase one and give us our findings.
Okay.
So we can make a sound decision on the next few steps, whether that's continuing to build out the case study and or when we would hypothetically launch a capital campaign. And I think that's what we're ready for on phase two.
what that looks like, yeah. No, because when we say 10 to 15 million, that would include.
Oh, it's just my example.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
not saying yes or no to it.
No, Brad, I'm just building on what you just said. I just wanted to say, like, that 10 to 15, and I think I've said this before, it's like, that includes the federal, the state, the county, the everything else. So we never expected the 501c3 on its own to be 10 to 15 million. It was gonna be all of that together.
Oh, I see.
So as Seattle Parks Foundation may only be 5 to 8 million, like that they could
They
raise.
only get 12% of 5 to 8 million.
But we're,
the pool.
and we were never expecting that 10 to 15 to be solely Seattle Parks Foundation dollars.
But it's really good that so even if you get it through federal or state or whatever, that's not gonna get charged the 12% by Seattle Parks. The messaging remains consistent. It's not like you got one group going over here saying, swim lessons, and then another group going, Mako Sharks, and so everybody's confused about what the heck the typical pool is. So it's all consistent and professional, and it looks like they've been doing this for 25 years, so it's not that they're the new kids on the block, so.
And so when you're saying like too, like I think I wanted to finish that one first question. Are they going to help as far as being able to find some of that money to like with the federal, state, county, or are they looking at just people that want to donate money for fundraising?
We're both looking at each other. Yeah, that's a good question.
Because I mean, you're kind of tying it together. So I'm trying to understand.
So we've had conversations about like the state and the lobbying and the appropriations. I mean, Shamra's being very, so we've had conversations. They would be responsible for writing grants for the 501c3 stuff, and we would be responsible most likely to write the grants. That was at least the way I'm interpreting it. Yeah, they're not allowed to.
Gotcha. Are they?
They are not allowed to lobby.
They're not allowed to lobby.
No.
But are they allowed to give us information on who and what we should be lobbying?
And they
so they can give us like, oh, you guys should be really talking to so and so. Here's their information. They might be
I'm
worth
not sure the exact
X amount.
person because it depends on your area. But they certainly we're talking about this legislative session. We've heard that it's not going to be as dismal as what people initially said. So that kind of higher level, but not you need to talk to Joe. Look.
I think they're leveraging. I think their goal is to leverage us as the connector to that type of funding mechanism. So we would be doing most of the work, is the way I look.
Yeah, on those kind of things,
Yeah.
they're not getting any percentage
Does
of
that
it.
make sense?
Yeah, but I guess but I can also see like they don't get percentage off of it because it's tax money, or it's, you know, so they just can't touch it.
But building the campaign.
But being able to
build
build
the
a campaign,
And
yeah, so that's what I'm saying, like, are we able to take that campaign, so they build, and be able to use
Yes.
that for
Yes, that's,
grant writing and all that sort of
yeah, so, and to be fair, we already have a pretty extensive grant that's written, that they've been able to leverage as well. They use that for information, so, you know, so it's not like we're starting from scratch. We can use a lot of that, but they've used a lot of that as reference and information.
My last piece here, and I think it needs to be pushed from this point forward, I would like to see an itemized billing of time, resource, and
Yeah.
what is being spent.
Yeah.
And then I know people are looking at me like I'm crazy, but when we're caught off guard by $44,000, $750, what did this pay for? Besides our weekly check-ins, interviews? I'm still making, I just want to know moving forward that there is at least something beyond 2 lines on an invoice that I can be transparent with, should someone ask me what
The
it is.
accounting.
Well, it's not just like you, it's like the district,
Yeah.
like all, in a
Well-
whole, cause like, that was like one of my concerns, that it is like, that, I mean, someone's
know
filling
it's
out
not-
invoices all the time,
Right.
that this is like,
Right.
What,
So one thing I think you've got to remember too is that all the money, like that 150 or whatever, for 12% doesn't just pay for bills that are attributed to us. It pays for the foundation, so it contributes to that. So they're going to have, you know, you're not going to have 12% of everything going to just support us. It supports the foundation that exists as
Sure.
well, right?
yes.
But I'm not
looking
disagreeing with
for-
the itemization.
I'm not looking for 200 lines. What I'm
Yeah.
looking for is 10 hours were spent with the TPMPD team on
Yeah.
weekly
You're looking-
check-ins.
you're looking for
And,
more.
yeah, just high-level detail that allows us to at least look at this and go, oh yeah, this makes sense and we can account for this. Because
Well, but
my last check-in, I thought we were in the 20s. I think
well, I
Gary
thought
was
that's like,
really-
I thought some discussion somewhere along my number, I thought it was like something like, yeah, around like
I
22,000.
don't think I ever heard any number.
Yeah, it was 22.
Yeah, we were.
Oh, so I did, cause I thought I heard something.
Yeah, it was
So
like-
that was
She
my
was
last
like
piece. I think we
currently
just need additional accounting,
to
but
date.
But I think,
in front of
It was
us,
22.
to your point, it is on us.
this.
We have the onus to say, Seattle Parks Foundation, we're gonna take care of this, but going forward, I need an itemized bill that contains X, and tell them what we need. Now, if we are really difficult and say we want an itemized bill of every single person, you know, whether they're getting coffee or whatever, they're gonna, I mean, I would read the boilerplate contract, because I'm guessing that they're not gonna, you know, that would then be money, more money that's added to our bill, because we're having them do such stupid small time accounting.
But it's capped at 12%.
Yes,
right?
it's
So
capped
it's
at
capped at 12%, but not all 12% is gonna be to support the TPMBD. Some of that it will be to
No,
support.
that's their
the
fee.
foundation,
They do
yeah.
the fee by
This is their
percentage.
job, this is their business, I
Yeah,
understand.
and, you know,
I
I mean,
don't
it's,
disagree with itemization on a high level at all, but.
well, you know, I mean, there can be arguments of whether it's micromanaging or not, but I can understand thinking that you're gonna see a bill for 22,000, all of a sudden you're looking at a bill for twice that, and you're kind of like, there's 2 line items on here, yeah, there's only 2. So it's kind of like, okay, well, how much does Sharma Consulting charge for an hour? Is that?
Well, I mean, that's what's, yeah, when it's like foundation staff, and it's like less than $3,000.
Yeah,
And then
so-
there's another consulting group that's like
So I
the
think-
majority, I mean, like, not just a majority, like all of them.
So I think that what we're kind of asking for, and we should directly ask them, is, okay, give me the CV on Sharma Consulting. Who am I paying? Does this woman like run around with Jeff Bezos? Is this somebody that we really, you know, I mean, what's her connection? Because just because she's charging a lot of money doesn't mean she's overbilling us.
Yeah, and also we don't have control over who they hire.
Correct.
They choose to hire, and we don't get to say, oh no, we don't want to have that person, we want this person. So, and once again, capped at 12%. So if they choose to hire a more expensive company, then that's less money Seattle
For
Parks
them,
Foundation is
exactly,
going to get
yeah.
too. So,
And they want to be successful. I mean, it's good intention all around. They want us to be successful. They want to raise money for us, they'll raise money for themselves. And we also then become a story in their portfolio of successes. And we want to be, you know, financially conservative because that's what we do. We don't want to be throwing, you know, thinking we're having a party, you know, going to the spa and all that kind of stuff. So, but, so I, you know, I mean, I think this all can be worked out, but I really, really think that it has to be very direct. You know, there can't be any assumption, well, you know, I'm going to say to them, well, you know, I need your bills to be a little bit more detailed. What is that? That's nothing. That's like, what I need is I need this. My board needs this information. And have, you know, and then have conversation where they say, hey, we're not, you know, we're not in charge of Sharma Consulting. You know, that's what they're billing us, if, you know, well, how can we work this? And then have conversation so everybody knows what we're agreeing to instead of coming back and people being disappointed, and that's just a shame. So, can I make a motion?
Yes, you can.
I make a motion that we approve invoice number
We already have
4548.
an open motion.
What?
We already have an open
Oh,
motion.
we have an open motion for approving
Did.
this, or what?
I've got an open motion on approving the agenda,
Yeah.
and that was approved.
That was approved. And then you had Brad talk about this.
Just talk about it.
I don't think we had a motion
We didn't have a motion.
to approve it.
Yeah, so I'll entertain a motion to approve payment of Seattle Parks Foundation invoice in the amount of $34,750.
Correct, but also with the caveat that, you know, everybody agrees that, you know, if we move forward into a contract, that this $44,750 will be subtracted from the first payment of $75,000, which is due in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Yes.
Written in paper.
We just need to have that payment. I mean, it's not in a punitive way, I mean, it's
No.
just, again, being clear.
Second.
Clarity is kind.
So, okay, so can I just confirm? So Commissioner Gangler made a motion to approve Seattle Parks Foundation invoice for $44,750. Pending written confirmation, it will be credited against future contract service fees or deposit.
Yeah, I'd be really careful about, you know, because we don't want to say, you know, like, if the you know, I mean, we want to just, yeah, like you said, that's fine.
So pending written confirmation that it will be credited against future
Yes.
contract deposit fee.
Does that sound, is that clear enough, or do you have to say after future first contract payment of $75,000?
I don't think it needs to be quite that, just because it will, because I've got language in the contract that,
It will be in the, and it will be
Does
listed
that,
on
Brad,
the
does-
draft contract.
yeah, Brad, does that
So
sound
it's
like,
already
does that sound, what I just said, does that sound like a
Having that
decent
added. I
motion?
know, we know it's on the contract, but before we're gonna release the money for this $44,750, can we get Seattle Parks to say, just, it doesn't even have to be
That's fine,
formal,
just
okay?
Yes.
That's the meeting.
Okay,
Yeah,
great,
yeah.
yeah. just-
No, absolutely.
Thank you, so happy.
The clarity is, through quick email, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Does,
And
and
I
that
will
was
second that
Andrew,
motion.
Commissioner Stahl seconded that motion. Is there any discussion on this motion?
Didn't we just have a discussion?
Yeah, we did. We kind of went a little backwards.
Okay.
Gary?
My discussion is just going to be that I am not going to approve this without a contract. I think that we're putting the cart in front of the horse. It's not fiscally responsible. I was shocked when I saw this bill come in, especially after the conversation we had at $22,000. I am not comfortable moving forward to pay this without a contract. Even after hearing all the discussion tonight.
Okay,
That's my discussion.
thank you. Thank you for sharing.
And I'm kind of on the boat with Jerry on it. Like, I mean, I don't see anything in here of what we're paying for. And that kind of scares me because we haven't talked to anybody. I know you guys have, so like that's, but it's still a chunk of change
So,
for something that.
Yeah.
Andrew, how are you feeling?
That's what we're waiting for the
I
outcome.
don't want to disappoint you guys, but I'm leaning towards Jerry. Because like I just, granted it won't be my problem next month, but just this is not really comfortable with it. I don't know.
What would you be more, what would this need to have on it?
A contract, just,
You want the
I
contract.
want to talk. I thought we were coming here to talk about the
Contract.
contract. And I know they're going through stuff, but if they want to get paid, that's their problem, not ours. But
And just to
So,
clarify, we were the ones who told them that we paid them $44,750?
I asked for an invoice up to their yearly rate. Because it was.
So I mean, that's what kills me, is like, when did you ask for it?
When?
Yeah,
Just an invoice, you just asked for an invoice,
Yeah, I asked.
yeah,
for
it
an
was
invoice.
literally just like a few days before this.
so, yeah, so they basically put zero effort in.
Because they were trying to get this out before.
They're closed between Christmas and New Year's.
Yeah.
Okay, so does that sound like people are like,
So the one thing I'm just gonna point out, is that the due date is the 19th on this invoice.
So I mean,
of December?
January.
Oh, January.
so we could look at, watch the
We're late.
presentation, have questions at that.
So would we, if we were able to get more information by their due date, that would, or a contract,
Well, the contract is supposed to be on the 12th, is
Right.
when we're presenting it.
oh.
That's what I'm saying, is there's, if you look at the due date on the invoice, we're presenting the contract before the invoice is due.
And so we're gonna be voting on the contract in January.
That's the
Yes.
goal at this moment, yes.
So we're voting on the contract in January. They want this paid by January 19th. Our meeting is January 12th. Seems like we
They're
might have a
close.
problem if we can't agree on January to pass the contract. So I would recommend that we hold off then and have the vote in January and let them know, though, that these are the discussions that are going on. You can listen to this, right?
Yeah,
What are your thoughts?
I hear everything that people are saying, and I understand, not how we would want to do this, and that's the only reason I'm looking at the due date, and I'm gonna ask Brad and Jerry to help remind me at that meeting. I know that they said they're gone until the 5th of January.
Yeah, next
Well,
month.
until the first of the year, so I thought they'd be back on the
A
2nd, but I don't
a
know.
recent email I think I saw from Shava was the 5th.
Most places are, because of the way the holidays hit this year, they're not coming back to work until Monday.
What's the concern? That they wouldn't get their money on the 19th or just after?
Yes, that is a concern.
But if we pass the contract,
If we pass the contract, even if we do pass the contract, this has to go to the bill scans, which would not follow, they would not get their payment by the 19th, the way the bill scans and the payments go out.
Even if we passed it immediately.
Yeah, so it'd be close.
Yeah.
But there's still the question of if the contract's gonna be approved.
Correct.
if the contract isn't approved at the January meeting, could there be an executive session where it's discussed to pay this invoice? Or no, because it's an action.
Yes.
Does that have to be
public.
an
Yeah,
executive
that's,
session?
no, that's
It
not,
has to be public.
yeah, it's public.
So it could be part of the agenda though, if the contract doesn't pass.
Yes. So if the contract does not pass, yes, we can still hold a separate meeting, a special meeting to approve the invoice, so we don't have outstanding bills in the universe. Two, I think that if we're gonna hold on this, unfortunately, if we're holding on this until the board meeting to approve the contract, then we need to hold on any and all work until this contract gets approved, because I don't want to incur
Yeah, no more.
From
additional
them.
expenses until, because what I'm hearing is if you're not comfortable tonight, and I'm starting to hear the consensus, and if we're moving it to the 12th, thank you, then let's just communicate that, hey, we're just gonna move everything until contract's approved. We're gonna hold on any and all additional work until the contract is approved. If the contract gets approved, we'll pay the invoice, and we'll keep moving forward. If it does not get approved, we will hold a special meeting, approve the invoice, and move forward.
Yeah, yeah.
I just wanna make sure I
Yes.
I think
So
that's a
can
very
guide
logical.
them.
Yeah.
And just on the contract, I wanted to let everyone know, we're basically, we're pretty much at a point where we were in agreement with all the terms with them, so we don't really anticipate a lot of angst after our last meeting with them. It was a pretty open meeting, and so our latest version, now that I've commented
No, it's
there.
good. I think we're
I think-
all
is that true?
wrapped up. They just need to
Yeah.
look at it, they need to vet it one more time, and they need to agree to what, we already gave them a precursor to what we are non-negotiable in
Yeah.
terms of what we're adding back in that they took out.
And they
So
didn't have an
They
issue,
seem,
yeah.
they seem good to go.
The only constraint may be is that they won't come back till the 5th. We may not get this in time for the board meeting.
It's a good point.
I'm
Yeah.
hoping that we will. It's pretty minor, the additions we added back into the contract,
Okay.
but I don't know.
And there are things that they,
And
at
so
the
have to-
meeting, they agreed to, so.
Okay.
So just coming back, I'm just putting
Yeah.
that we, if this, it may end up, the contract may end up being into a special meeting.
And
Well,
we
But
can,
it's their, kind of, it's up to them at this
That is
point.
the ball
You know,
is
if
in
they
their-
want to get it to us by the 12th, we're definitely eager to.
Which is
have
why
the
they're gonna do a
discussion.
presentation, which is gonna be
Yeah.
Shamrock, or Shava, no, Shava, it's gonna be Shava.
Shava or
Or
Elizabeth,
Rebecca.
Rebecca. I would say it's Elizabeth.
We'll be in person just to answer questions and do a quick, review. So that should help answer some questions at that moment, whether we have a contract available to sign that day or not.
Okay.
That's my understanding.
So
So-
do we need to withdraw our motion?
Why can't we just vote it down?
Yeah, we never get to vote nay.
I don't know.
I guess we could every time.
I can withdraw the motion if you like. I kind of like that.
Probably the
Curious.
cleanest.
Does it need to be withdrawn?
Yeah, it does have to be withdrawn.
No nay, we can't just all nay it.
Well, let's just withdraw it. I think that's,
If we could take a vote, and I'm not gonna name it, so.
Whatever,
okay, so yeah, so if you don't, yeah, so we can go ahead, I can.
Let's do a vote.
Okay, so all those in favor of paying Seattle Parks Foundation invoice in the amount of $44,750 pending confirmation will be credited towards against future contract deposits, say aye. Aye. All those opposed?
nay.
Okay, so Commissioner Gangler and Commissioner Zapkel are aye. Commissioner Frangella Anderson, Commissioner Shipman, and Commissioner Stahl are nay, so the motion fails. And so we will, but we do have a plan going forward.
And we're still all friends.
Sorry?
We're still all friends.
We're all
Nobody's
still
gonna
all
go
friends.
toilet paper anybody's house.
And I guess just for the record, like, I do want to pay money owed.
No,
But like, I
I,
want to see like what we're really paying the money for.
Yeah.
Before.
Governance for our government.
but just to be clear, like, we may not get like the level of, so that's what I think, I just want to temper people's expectations on the level of detail of what you're going to pay it for, because it's going to be more, we're paying more than what is going to be attributed to us, so.
But that's fair. It's
Yeah, I just,
Yeah.
Without a contract, it's just,
What?
I think high level is what's the billable rate times how many employees under Shamrock Consulting, because we know there were 3 on most of our meetings. So 3 at what's the billable rate equates to X, I think is enough transparency for me.
And also, I mean, it would be interesting if they're doing videos and stuff like that, but there's other costs that, I mean, I don't know that they need to be really,
They don't.
I mean, you just wanna have an idea, because at this point, it's like, okay, well, what assets do we really have? But we know, because you've been involved in it, that we have interviews, and then we have data that we own, or will own when we pay them, so.
yeah,
Yeah, it just needs to be high level. I'm not looking for.
yeah, I just wanted to make sure everyone's expectations.
Yeah, well, I mean,
were-
I think, like, for me, it's like, I mean, like, just looking at, say, like, recent, over the past year, 2 years now, like, with doing, like, all of our other, like, studies that we've done, like, there's something intangible to it, for basically this price and double, you know, on some of it, but there's, like, nothing tangible to this yet.
It's an interesting point. I didn't even think about that.
Well, I
Yeah,
think it's
deliverable.
important to that, Seattle Parks understands how the optics look to us.
Yes.
I know that they see them from a different angle, because they
And I
want
think, thanks to Ellen, that's actually, I appreciate that comment, especially, yeah. Because we're, it was public dollars, I understand that.
Absolutely, and we're not usually, we won't hold our retreat
So,
and
Brad,
we're fun.
Disregard my comment.
Yeah.
Good.
because you don't need to include it anymore, because we can just leave it at 75,000 and 75,000 for that. So we can just go back to the original language of when the, Part will prepay 150,000 toward admin fees and 2 installments, 75,000 on execution and 75,000.
So then there would be no invoice to approve.
Yeah.
So
So
if we approve the contract, then we move.
yeah, so we can just eliminate all that.
That makes sense. Okay.
So then I don't need an itemized invoice.
So Brad, do you have enough direction? I just want to make sure on
This is all I needed, this tonight.
communicating with Parks Foundation. Okay.
I don't know anything else you wanted to mention too.
Sorry? She wanted to make a motion. That's what I can hear.
Sorry, did somebody make a motion?
So Ellen,
Well,
Second.
sorry, Aaron, I don't think Aaron's done.
I don't think we've talked about miscellaneous yet,
Oh, I'm sorry,
nor if
miscellaneous.
there's an executive session before we can start making motions for adjournments.
Okay.
Okay, fine. So give us a miscellaneous.
Okay, what's your miscellaneous?
Better come up with
So,
something.
anyways.
On Christmas. Nothing.
It's not my spot to ask about miscellaneous.
I would say that it's very miscellaneous.
I have no miscellaneous.
I'm in for operations.
Okay, miscellaneous. I'd like to, introduce our commissioner-elect. I know we
I'd like to
did it
give
in
miscellaneous.
roll call. It's not miscellaneous, but it's at the end. So Debbie will be joining us in January, and so welcome to our board.
And I apologize. I just saw the sign, run for commissioner, and I just randomly chose a number that I liked. And I did not mean to move anyone from their position.
No hard feelings.
And I in no
I
way
didn't mean-
told anyone I was running or incurred any vote. And I'm just in Hawaii on the beach when I start getting all these phone calls. You won. I'm like, okay, 9 people did tell me they were going to vote for me, even though I said, I don't think I wanted, but 9 people I knew. And then they said, you won. And so I apologize for stepping on anyone's toes. But I did believe I told Brad, I'm like, I think I have good ideas and a lot to offer. And no one else in this room has 21 grandchildren.
Oh gosh.
No one, no one else goes to water aerobics every day, So I think I'm the eyes and ears of a lot of people that maybe haven't been noticed. So anyway, I apologize.
No,
And
reason to
I'm
apologize.
excited. And we're really nice people. He doesn't look very nice, but he super is. And it's been 3 months since a haircut, and we are going to get one tomorrow. So we will look better.
So, had you got your oath of office all sorted down at the?
I did. I turned it in, and I did it very officially.
Good. No, that's perfect.
So, just really quickly before we do the vote for adjournment, Debbie, are you familiar with who all of us are?
Not really. I mean, I've seen everyone.
Well, that's okay. Why don't we just go around and say
I'm Jerry Frangello Anderson.
President?
She's going to be president as
next
of
year.
January 1st.
Oh.
I'm doing the tag.
You got 2 more days.
So do we refer to you as president
Madam
at that
President.
point, or?
Madam President.
No.
That's what I want.
No.
I didn't want to
No.
step
No.
on any more
Oh,
toes.
just Jerry.
We're very, yes.
Well, I'm telling people now to call me commissioner.
Oh, okay. That's good. I don't know. That's not, no.
And
I'm just a regular human.
I'm Vanessa. I know we've been communicating via email.
Yeah, thank
So
you.
It's lovely to meet you in person. Not president in 2 days.
I'm Aaron Shipman.
He'll be the clerk.
I'll be the clerk.
Okay.
I'm Ellen Gangler.
I'm Andrew Stahl. I was
And you
president.
contacted me on Facebook.
Yep, congratulations.
Awesome.
Very good. Okay.
And you know Emily?
I do.
And you know Brad.
Yeah.
And you know
I
your
know
husband.
Yeah.
I don't know why he forgot to wear a hearing aid.
Well, very helpful. Okay, so should we take
All
votes?
right. Do we have a motion?
I move that we adjourn.
So Commissioner
Second.
Gangler made a motion to adjourn. Commissioner Stahl seconded it. Is there any discussion on adjourning? No? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay.
All right.
We are adjourned. Thank you so much to everyone for accommodating the special meeting. It was a super